Previously on Power Reviews.
With Database, we've got a Power Ranger.
You were sent to infiltrate Alphabet Soup.
Hexagon is not even supposed to exist anymore.
Hexagon?
Dominated the world.
I received a distress call. Virus.
The fluctuation in the cross-dimensional continuum. If Alphabet Soup disrupts the tachyon cloud...
Our Alpha is on that ship.
What did you just do to this ship?
An alliance. By going into the rift.
Same person, different worlds.
The directors of Alphabet Soup.
Not you.
He snatched up the little girl.
You lost her.
Our master, the landlord. She was standing next to the landlord.
K Alpha.
Guy will pilot the shuttle in and out.
Caps,
Guy! Mitch! Mary! Shall we go?
get her to the ship and keep her safe.
BB!
Let's go!
Hold on!
Goodbye.
No!
He's gone.
He's just gone. Mitch and Mary might actually be getting through to K Alpha. Farewell, Ranger fans, and...
And now, Database Rangers Power Review.
Greetings, Ranger fans, and welcome to... Do I really need to do this?
It'll help you get in touch with your emotions.
I'm already in touch with my emotions.
Yeah, I know, grumpy and angry. Try to find some new ones.
Fine. This is episode 27 of Power Rangers Time Force, Frax'S Fury. In the woods surrounding Silver Hills, inside the stolen Time Force cryogenic prison, Frax works on repairing his Cyclobot soldiers and complaining about his mutant criminal boss, Rancic.
But no matter how loyal we are, or how hard we fight for your empire, you still treat us like junk metal!
Can't this hunk of junk move any faster?
I'm trying. We parked the ship outside of scanner range for a reason. Dr. K? Dr. K, do you read me? Frax is interrupted by Rancic, calling for help, and hurries to his aid. He discovers his master on the floor, crying out for his serum.
Stupid serum. One day I'll get my revenge and then I'll just...
Apparently, this is the first time that the robot has considered withholding life-saving treatment as a form of revenge, but he's prevented from acting on impulse by Rancic's daughter, Nadira, who snatches the serum away while her lackey Gluto grabs the rest. One sip of the blue liquid, and Rancic quickly recovers. We're here. Yay!
I don't know if we should celebrate yet. I didn't see the exotic beam cannon go off. Did you?
No, I didn't. Dr. K, what's our status? Were you able to get through to database?
Gone.
Having lost out on the opportunity to eliminate Rancic, Frax instead decides to use his secret key to the prison's X-Vault to reanimate a dangerous mutant from his master's past. I know it's not much.
This is an acceptable cell for my incarceration.
You're not a prisoner here.
Am I free to leave this room?
I'm afraid not.
Then your distinction is meaningless.
I'm sure you've been through a lot.
You no longer interest me. You may leave.
The mystery mutant begins its rampage, biting random civilians and marking them with strange, swirling tattoos on their necks. The Silver Guardians, the private paramilitary contractors for the city, respond quickly to assess the threat.
I can only imagine what the years spent in this place have done to her.
It's very swirly out there.
Let's give them some space.
Ooh, are we gonna go look at space?
We like looking at space.
It's very swirly out there.
Fine. I'll take you back to the bridge and you can work on scanning for database.
Yay!
Back at the prison, Nadira congratulates Rancic on the new mutant, prompting confusion from her father as he goes to check his strangely low-fidelity video monitor. Just sit here and stay quiet until you find something or someone comes to get you.
Aye, aye.
Keep an eye on them.
Watch them yourself.
What?
Last I checked, I don't answer to you. In fact, you used to answer to us. Maybe now that your ranger friend is gone, it'd serve you well to remember that.
What's wrong, Daddy? He's just another mutant.
Are you okay? Do you want to talk about something?
This leads Rancic into a long monologue, diving deep into his backstory of living on the streets in a futuristic dystopia of the year 3000.
Benabach attacked me one dark, rainy night. The pain from his bite was so immense I couldn't even cry out for help.
There's nothing to talk about. Despite this, a kind doctor appeared and offered to help, providing exactly the kind of medicine he needed at just the right time.
Look, I know what it's like to lose someone, so if you need to talk...
I don't.
Hey, I'm trying to help you here.
The doctor, Louis Ferrix, and his company of cyclobots brought Rancic to his laboratory to recover, and explained that his mutant DNA meant that he would have to continue taking the serum to survive.
Why would you, a human, help me, a mutant?
You brought me into this. You're the one who got me to disobey orders and help you fight off an army of demons, and you're the one who got me to help you hijack this ship and save the closest thing to family I have left.
Despite Dr. Ferrix clearly reaching out to him, Rancic decides to turn against the one person who has been proven willing to help him, who is also his only source of his life-saving medication, and just so happens to have an army of robots at his disposal.
You may not realize it, but a lot of us looked up to you when you were a soup agent. And when we found out that was all a lie, it hurt.
You're as foolish as your robots.
With that, he steals the serum and destroys the lab.
And that was the last I ever saw of Dr. Ferrix.
Funny. I thought this was the story of your long history with Venomark. But I guess things kind of got away from him. I'm sorry for...
I get it. You had your mission. And the mission came first.
His story over, stolen serum in hand, Rancic prepares to seek out and destroy his old enemy.
My point is, we've still got a major threat out there. And with the Phantom Ranger gone, someone is going to need to step up. Or else a lot more people are going to get hit with a lot worse than hurt feelings.
I know. Thank you. In a nearby park, several civilians enjoy a friendly game of football, but are soon interrupted with an attack from the mutant leech Venomark.
Good, you're both still here. I need you to cover the bridge immediately and try not to enable any more mutants. And you, the directors want to meet with you privately.
Fine. Lead the way. Although Jimmy is blindsided, the other players are rescued just in time by the timely arrival of the Time Force Power Rangers, who escort the unharmed civilians to safety.
Right this way.
Venomark dives through the Rangers, dodging their attacks and blasting them with his sword, then grabbing each of them in turn, biting their necks until only the Red Ranger, Wes Collins, remains.
Relax, Ranger! It'll only hurt forever!
Former Agent Y.
We need to talk.
I suppose we do.
We need your help.
What? At that moment, the Red Ranger is rescued by Rancic, shocking everyone, but most especially Venomark.
We're not exactly happy about it either.
But the recent loss of the Phantom Ranger has put us all in a compromising position.
Unfortunately for Rancic, before he can deliver the final blow, his illness strikes him again, mutating his arm and giving Venomark a chance to escape. Wes then watches with fascination as Rancic takes his dose of serum, recovers, and retreats.
We need to seriously consider the option of a tactical retreat.
Retreat. Venomark flees to a nearby rooftop, shocked that his old adversary is alive and out for revenge, when he is confronted by Frax'S over his failure to finish the Rangers. When the mutant presses him over what to do about Rancic, the robot dismisses his concerns.
How can you say don't worry? I'm going to destroy Rancic. I am history.
Well, that was refreshingly blunt. Are you really suggesting that we just run away?
It's not the ideal situation, obviously.
But K-Alpha's biosignature was the only means we had of tracking the entity known as the Landlord.
And even if we could track him, the loss of the Phantom Ranger means that we've lost the only means of combating him.
In other words, we're dead in the water.
And we think it's time to go home.
At their home in the clock tower, Wes cares for his comrades Lucas, Trip, Katie, and Jen, trying his best to administer medical attention to help them recover as the rest of the city suffers. No. Database is still out there. We can't just abandon him.
Well, do you have another suggestion?
K-Alpha. She may have information to help us find him. Wes consults with Circuit, the robotic owl that acts as their tether to the future, and discovers that there is no known cure for Venomark's bite.
And what if K-Alpha is unable or unwilling to help us track him down.
There must be something that we can do. Suddenly realizing that the mutating sores on the other ranger's arms are identical to the ones he had seen on Rancic, Wes returns to the park and recovers the broken vial left behind by the mutant crime lord, with a small remnant of serum still inside.
Former Agent Y, you prefer to be called Guy, correct? We need you to look inside yourself.
You must understand how dire the situation is.
Left with no other options, Wes takes the serum to Biolab, the massive corporation run by his estranged father. Although he is initially stopped by Eric Myers, the current head of the Silver Guardians, he is quickly able to convey the importance of an immediate meeting with Mr. Collins.
You don't come around here for months, and when you do show up, you ask for a favor? Okay, son. What do you want from me?
Here's what I don't understand. Why are you talking to me about all of this? What is it that you want?
We have been observing you for some time.
During the brief time when Mr. Ranger was part of our organization.
You mean when you infected him with an artificially intelligent computer virus?
A regrettable action. One that I will remind you was undertaken by our former partners, whom I believe you now count among your personal allies.
During that time, we learned of your connections to Hexagon and your status as an undercover agent. Your ability to rise through the ranks of Alphabet Soup so quickly was troubling, to say the least.
But since then, we witnessed your leadership skills firsthand. We recognize that you led a number of agents in defending our facility during the unfortunate Project Gateway incident.
And recently, you made strong command decisions to rescue K-Alpha from the landlord's stronghold. An accomplishment Alphabet Soup has been working towards since before the formation of our cross-dimensional division.
We believe that you have a very good head on your shoulders, Guy, and we'd like you to take up the role of our liaison.
What?
Someone needs to act as a bridge between our two groups. And in Mr. Ranger's absence, it does appear that Subject K-Beta has appointed herself as your leader.
Dr. K, she calls herself.
Yes. And she appears to be reticent to helping us due to the alleged actions of our counterparts in her home universe.
Actions which have nothing to do with us, I will remind you.
Exactly. Someone needs to be the voice of reason.
The well-being of everyone on the ship depends on it.
The Red Ranger makes it clear to his father that the city is at stake, and that only Biolab can reproduce the serum fast enough to save lives. Though initially skeptical, Mr. Collins quickly sees the value of this proposition.
This could be a gold mine.
We can accomplish great things together.
Just think it over.
Madam Secretary, would you please escort Guy back to his quarters?
You still think that you're going to come out on top in all of this, don't you?
We promise to stay in touch.
Come with me.
The Silver Guardians immediately set to work distributing the serum throughout the city, as Wes returns home to the clock tower and administers his batch of vials to the other Rangers, initiating their improbably fast recovery. Meanwhile, infected citizens mob the Silver Hills Hospital, pushing aside an oddly creepy old woman who Eric hurries to assist.
Hi, Guy. Come play with us.
I'll pass. This act of kindness leaves him vulnerable to an ambush, as Venomark suddenly appears again, pinning Eric against a car. Fortunately, the Time Force Rangers make a timely rescue, and the leader of the Silver Guardians is able to retaliate by transforming into the Quantum Ranger. After a brief skirmish, he then activates his Mega Battle Mode, allowing him to chase after the sprinting mutant using his giant hover rollerblades. Future tech is weird. The Quantum Ranger then disables Venomark with his blasters, prompting him to rip off a patch to expose his DNA, causing him to grow giant-sized. Again, future tech is weird. So the Rangers contact their robotic owl. I know I didn't comment on the owl before, and I'm going to stand by that. And they have Circuit summon their Zords, the Time Flyers, along with the Shadow Winger, which are each punched through a time portal by the Transwarp Megazord. I'd say that the punching is unnecessary, but, as I have established, future tech is weird. The Time Force Rangers immediately form the Shadow Force Megazord Mode Red, as the Quantum Ranger summons his Quantosaurus Rex Megazord, somehow initiating a rainstorm, before quickly finishing off Venomark with their Blizzard Slash and Q-Rex lasers, respectively, cryogenically freezing the mutant and transforming him into some form of collectible figure. For merchandising, one would expect.
Take your time to consider their offer, but don't take too long.
Wes and Jen help administer the last of the serum to the populace, congratulating themselves and Eric on their success. However, back at the prison, Rancic discovers that there is still one last piece of unfinished business.
What was that about?
You and I need to talk. The floor of the prison is covered in broken vials that crunch underfoot.
Can you believe it? It looks like someone's destroyed all your precious serum.
Rancic lunges at him, but stops when Frax holds up the last vial, choosing instead to negotiate. The directors want me to act as a liaison between our two groups.
And what did you tell them?
Nothing. I wanted to talk with you about it first. They said that you have a history with their alternate universe counterparts?
That's putting it mildly.
I need to know what you know.
You know enough. You've worked with them. You know how they are. You know what they're capable of.
But you know more. On your world they did something. But you've never said what.
What do you want to know? How they abducted me, lied to me, made me forget my own name, convinced me I was sick, that the sun would burn my skin. They told me I was going to help them save the world. I was 4. They stole my childhood and they told me they were saving my life. They made me believe that I could save everyone from...
From what?
We're both on the same side. Humans! Humans are our enemies!
Humans are your enemies! I should know. I was human when you destroyed me.
Hexagon.
What? Frax reveals that he, in fact, is all that remains of Dr. Louis Ferrix.
Yeah. You have to understand, I only knew what they told me.
You thought you destroyed me when you destroyed my laboratory. Well, you almost did, but I survived.
Alphabet Soup told me that Hexagon was a threat. That Earth's survival was at stake.
What did you do?
I wouldn't have made it had I remained in my human form, so I rebuilt myself using the technology I had pioneered.
They provided me with code fragments of an advanced artificial intelligence. They'd recovered them on a lunar mission. They wanted me to write a very special computer program, transforming it into a self-aware, self-generating computer virus.
You mean Venjix?
Venjix was designed to seek out and destroy Hexagon's infrastructure.
Dr. Ferrix transformed himself into Frax, a robotic form designed for one purpose: revenge. So what Database saw? All of Earth being destroyed?
Once I realized that Alphabet Soup had lied to me, that they'd held me captive my whole life, I just wanted to escape. I thought Venjix could help me do that, but I was wrong. I didn't know until it was too late. I didn't know what Hexagon really was. I didn't know they were Earth's only defense. I didn't know that the Power Rangers, all the Power Rangers... Guys! Guys, I'm sorry! I didn't know! I didn't know! I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
His true identity revealed, Frax drops the last file, sealing Rancic's fate, then teleporting away before the subject of his revenge can retaliate. That's when the realization kicks in. And that's the end of the episode. So, what did I think of it? Well, it's actually a rather well-constructed story, with high stakes, both narratively and emotionally, that drives both heroes and villains to take extreme actions to accomplish their goals, not only furthering their character arcs, but also setting events in motion that will have repercussions throughout the rest of the series. The centerpiece of the episode, of course, is Frax's reveal as Dr. Ferrix. Not because it's shocking, it isn't, but it is chilling. we see how one night stripped away a man's identity. He lost his lab, his body, and his morals because he tried to help someone, and that person repaid his kindness with hatred. In many ways, that hatred is like a poison, even more damaging than Venomark's bite. Poetic. It's also fitting that the two characters who refuse to let go of the past are the ones that end up losing the most at the end of the episode, as Rancic's serum is destroyed and Frax'S goes on the run, while Wes, Eric, and Mr. Collins all put their conflicts aside for the purpose of saving the city. And money, one assumes. I suppose not everyone can have pure motivations. Speaking of motivations, Frax'S actions in this episode do raise a lot of questions. Not only is it strange that it's taken this long for the idea of destroying the serum to even occur to him, but we have no idea how he managed to infiltrate Rancic's forces to begin with. Establishing the Cyclobots as Ferrix creations further complicates things, as despite being a good match for his origin, there's never an explanation for how they ended up becoming Rancic's army, and I don't like loose ends. Within the context of this episode, however, Frax'S plan is effective, and is well mirrored in the actual structure of the episode. Just as Frax uses Venomark to simultaneously distract Rancic and remind him of the past, the episode shifts focus away from Frax onto the rivalry between the two mutants, then the larger threat to the city and the interpersonal relationships of the Rangers, only returning to Frax's story after he has successfully been pushed into the background of the narrative. Overall, Frax's fury is an excellent depiction of the horrifically cyclic nature of revenge, as harmful actions are demonstrated as having real consequences, and the episode accomplishes this while keeping focus on the immediate threat, all while the long-term threat looms in the background, so that when it hits, it takes the audience off guard, having a devastating effect that reverberates throughout the rest of the series. So there it is. I'm not really sure how that was supposed to make me feel better about anything, but I suppose it was at least an effective diversion. So, until next time, farewell, Ranger fans, and...
Alert! Unauthorized access to cryogenic containment.
What's happening?
No time, just come with us!
Cryogenic containment.
Power protect us.